Nigeria recognized the need to address youth-related issues early on. Initiatives and policies aimed at youth development were put in place in the 1970s and 1980s. In 1973, the National Youth Service Corps program was launched to promote national unity and expose young graduates of tertiary institutions to leadership roles and community development. The first attempt to introduce a national youth policy was in 1981. In 1986, the federal government of Nigeria established the National Directorate of Employment (NDE) as part of efforts to combat rising unemployment and underemployment, particularly among Nigeria's youth. The most significant focus of the NDE is youth empowerment. In 1987, during the administration of President Ibrahim Babangida, the Better Life Program for Rural Women was launched. This was an initiative that was created to address various social and economic challenges faced by young rural women in Nigeria. The Better Life Program was associated with the late Mariam Babangida, the then First Lady of Nigeria, who played a significant role in promoting and supporting the program. It was implemented through various partnerships with governmental and non-governmental organizations. Over time, the activities and influence of the program waned. In 1989, Nigeria formulated its first national youth policy aimed at youth development. Regrettably, by the early 1990s, this policy began to suffer tremendous neglect and setback. This created a huge gap in youth development in Nigeria. However, in 2001, a significant milestone was achieved. The adoption of a national youth policy laid the groundwork for addressing various aspects of national youth development. In 2007, the Ministry of Youth Development was established to implement policies and programs to address the various challenges faced by young people, such as education, unemployment, skills development, and employment. Over the years, the policy was reviewed and revised to adapt to changing circumstances and challenges. The first revision of the National Youth Policy occurred in 2009, when an attempt was made to align the policy with the global youth development agenda. The age range used for defining youth in Nigeria was between 18 and 35 years. The most recent version of the National Youth Policy was developed in 2009. This revision aimed to address emerging issues affecting youth, particularly in the areas of entrepreneurship, technology, and participation in governance. At the forefront of these advocacies is Youth Hub Africa, a non-profit, youth-focused organization dedicated to empowering and advocating for implementation of policies that contribute to youth development and youth participation in civic space. Under the National Youth Policy Review Project in 2017, Youth Hub Africa presented its recommendations from the review exercises carried out across the 6 geopolitical zones to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. The ministry expressed its commitment to address the issues outlined.
If we want to redirect our resources at the most critical factor is to see how we can build systems. And we have brilliant people in this country. If you put them in a room, they work it out.
On May 24, 2019, the federal government launched the revised 2019-2023 National Youth Policy.
The truth the youth needs to know is that it's time for you to take the baton.
Another youth-focused organization is the YAGA, Youth Initiative for Advocacy, Growth and Advancement, a non-profit organization primarily focused on promoting youth and civic engagement, advocacy, and good governance.
Today we have more young people that are elected into elective offices than we had in 2019 and than we even had in 2015 elections. And this is because there's a legal framework that provides the basis and does not disqualify young people from participation, and it provides some level of inclusion.
YAGA continues to play a significant role in advocating for democratic governance and youth empowerment. This is a story of a transformative advocacy campaign that aimed to empower and elevate the voices of young people by advocating for reforms, amplifying their voices, and advocating for policies and practices that promote meaningful youth engagement can only be sustained through continuous engagement with policymakers, strategic advocacy for their rights and interests.
So this is what we try to do, making sure that we look at local community projects, ensuring the citizens themselves talk to their legislators, connecting them to people who are supposed to represent them, and enforcing it and ensuring the government deliver this project on time to them.
The way in which budget is using technology to tell the story of change in this country, to ensure that there's a greater awareness of what needs to change, and to draw in people again is a very powerful thing that they have done.
The work of civil society, of non-governmental organizations like Budget, is absolutely critical to helping us support the government and actually make progress on our basic mission of eliminating poverty.
In the end, the Nigerian youth story is one of unwavering perseverance and determination. They are rewriting the narrative of their nation, embracing their cultural diversity, and harnessing their collective potential to create a brighter, more prosperous future. Despite the obstacles they face, Nigerian youth continue to stand as a beacon of hope, embodying the spirit of change and progress in their beloved country.